So I hear you had a pretty amazing trip to the Planet Museum, huh? I especially heard about your fascination with those scales that tell you how much you'd weigh on other planets. Mars in particular seemed to catch your attention. And it got you thinking, right, why would your weight change so much just by going to a different planet? Is it like magic or something, some kind of cosmic trickery?
Well, maybe not trickery, but it definitely feels a bit like magic. It all comes down to a force that's working all throughout the universe, gravity.
Gravity. Sounds pretty important. Very weighty, I guess you could say. So what's the story with gravity?
Okay, so imagine gravity as a kind of invisible glue that pulls everything together. Like if you're holding a ball and you let go, what happens?
It falls to the ground.
Exactly. It doesn't just float away. It falls because the Earth's gravity is pulling it down.
Oh, I see. So it's like even when we jump up in the air, the Earth's gravity is pulling us right back down.
You got it. And here's something really interesting. The bigger and heavier something is, the stronger its gravity is. So think about the sun. It's the biggest thing in our solar system, right?
Yeah, it's huge.
And it's the sun's gravity that keeps all the planets orbiting around it.
Wow. So the sun has like the strongest pull out of everything in the solar system.
Exactly. It's got the most mass, so the most gravity. You could almost think of it like a giant magnet holding all the planets in place.
That's a great way to think about it.
Now, this brings back to your question about Mars. So Mars is smaller than Earth.
Right. I remember that from the museum. Earth was like the bigger one closer to the sun.
Yes. And because Mars is smaller, its gravity is weaker too. Which means if you were standing on Mars, you'd actually feel much lighter, almost like you were bouncing on a trampoline.
Whoa, so I could like jump super high on Mars. That's so cool.
Yeah.
But if it's all about size, does that mean I'd feel heavier on Jupiter since it's the biggest planet?
You got it again. You're a quick learner. Scientists have actually figured out a way to calculate exactly how much you would weigh on any planet.
Wow, really? How do they do that?
They use a special formula. Weight equals mass multiplied by gravity.
Mass multiplied by gravity. Sounds complicated, but I bet I'll be able to learn it when I'm older. But think about the astronauts. Must be so tricky for them with all these different gravities.
It's true. Different gravity on different planets is a big thing that scientists have to consider when they design spacesuits, and especially spacecraft. Imagine trying to walk on the moon. The moon's gravity is way weaker than Earth's. Astronauts have to train for months to learn how to move around in that kind of environment.
I can't even imagine. So if gravity is weaker on Mars, could astronauts like run super fast or play some kind of cool low gravity sport?
Now, that's an interesting thought. What would a low-gravity sport look like? It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It really does. So just to recap, gravity is this incredible force that makes things fall back down to the ground, and it also keeps all the planets orbiting around the sun. And the strength of gravity depends on how big a planet is.
Exactly. You've summed it up perfectly.
And now for a final thought. If you could design a playground on a low-gravity planet like Mars, what would it look like? Would you have giant swings that send you soaring high into the sky, or trampolines that make you bounce like a Super Ball? Keep thinking about it and let your curiosity lead you to new discoveries.